So I have an amazing news and a not so good news, actually a bad news. The amazing news is that in less than 8 minutes, you're going to learn how to talk to your subconscious to get more of what you want. But it is not coming from me. This is not a lesson coming from a guy that looks like Jesus after an hangover. This is coming from the only scientist called Trevor Blake that can actually claim he used these techniques to manifest and create more than $2 billion in net worth, and he wrote everything into this book. He taught me everything, and together we actually have seen these things working multiple times. The bad news is that you have to stuck with me and my sort of spaghetti accent and my very fast pace and my dirty jokes for 8 minutes, but I guess you can do it, and if you cannot do it, fair enough. My mom's like my accent, so it's not my problem, it's more yours. Okay, everything will be divided into two parts. The first part, we're going to talk about how your subconscious works, and the second part, we're actually going to talk how to use it to make more results in your daily life. But let's start with the first. Surprise, surprise. Okay, so you have two brains. Everybody has two brains. One brain is the logical brain and can produce 41 bits of information a second. Your subconscious brain, some people call it soul, some people call it God, some people call it Batman, some people call it Mickey Mouse, can produce 11 million of information a second, or bit a second. If you want to do an example, this guy here is kind of a chess player. Your logic brain, the one I'm talking to right now, the one you are, and I am too, is some sort of a chess player that he just started. So he does his own move, he plays a pawn in a certain way, he can predict maybe one or two moves in advance, he knows a bit of tactic because of experience and because of past things that he sees in the past, but he doesn't really know how to play. He's not even that good of a player, to be honest. It's like one of those kids that their parents drank a lot of wine while the mother were pregnant, or they drank bleach when he was 5, one sort of kids. And what happened is that's our logical brain, while our subconscious brain, it's much more powerful. It's kind of a supercomputer. They've seen all the chess games ever, and have seen all the players ever, and can actually predict what is going to happen, and can predict all the possible moves across the chessboard, and can see 25, 30 moves in advance. So this is your subconscious, the Grandmaster, and this is you. Now the goal will be, how do we actually make this guy taking the decision and not this guy taking a decision? So what are the characteristics of this guy? First of all, there's something called quantum entanglement. What is it? It means that we are all connected. It means that I'm connected with everything through something called X field, and I'm connected with, I have a channel called Spaghetti Manifest, and I'm connected to a guy in China that is a channel that's called Noodle Manifest, even if we never met. Okay, so we are all connected forever. You have experienced it. Sometimes you know what you've done. Sometimes you're sitting in a chair and you said, you know what, I wonder what John from high school is doing. And then after 30 minutes, John from high school called you. This happens every time. This is your Grandmaster supercomputer brain getting access to the knowledge in the field, in the X field, and understanding what's going to happen. Or we can also say, maybe your subconscious brain have called John from high school, and now John from high school is calling you on the phone. So this is what happened. Your subconscious brain is connected to everything. Your subconscious brain also gives more of what you feel. What does that mean? It means that whenever you are upset or angry or frustrated, you say stupid stuff. How many times does it happen that you get upset with your husband, wife, girlfriend, dog, alien, and then you say something stupid and the partner never forgets? Because you are, in a sense, in a state of stress, in a state of anxiety, in a state of fear, and your subconscious give you information that are in line with this, are in the same level of vibration. While when you relax on holiday, chill, happy, you have great ideas, great insight, you go to the shower and you find the perfect solution to an argument that you had 10 years ago. Why? Because this is actually your own brain connecting to your Grandmaster brain and get the knowledge. So basically, is the more you are relaxed, the more you are happy, the more you're confident, the more your Grandmaster brain gives you information on how to keep being in that state. Last but not least, this Grandmaster brain doesn't talk in words but talk in symbols. So he says if you have to communicate with it, you don't communicate with words. You don't say we need to be good, because if you do so, and that's why like affirmation don't work, because your Grandmaster brain talk in symbols. You need to see stuff. That's why a Ferrari will make you successful. It's a symbol. You'll be successful if you see a Ferrari. They make sense. Okay, now enough of this. Now that I've told you all the things, how do we make it happen? How do we make these things to achieve our dreams, to make some cash, to be free, to travel the world, etc.? And we can now start. First thing, you need to give direction to your Grandmaster subconscious brain in telling you, hey, we need to work that direction. So you need to go into the quantum field and make stuff happen. And then you have to give me ideas on what to do to make stuff happen, to achieve one goal. And what is this goal? Whatever you want. And how you can tell this goal to your subconscious brain? You have to write a contract, because the subconscious brain work in symbols. So by you writing a contract, you're giving it a symbol. That's what we need to do. So what you do is you choose your wildest dream. What do you want to be? Do you want to be a football player? Do you want to be an MMA coach? Do you want to be a queen? Do you want to be a princess? Do you want to be SpongeBob? Do you want to do a voiceover of Mickey Mouse? Everything is fine. Just write it down. What if you don't know what to write? Easy peasy. You ask yourself the following question. What do I want to feel? Do I want to feel empowered? Do I want to feel strong? Do I feel happy? Do I want to feel great in bed? Whatever. Now you ask yourself, what it is going to make me feel the way? Is it going to be an house? Is it going to be a car? Is it going to be $100 million exit? Whatever. You choose what you like and you write a contract, and you says, I don't care how we're going to get there, but I'm going to get there. I am already there. And you write it and you sign it. This is the symbol to give, so you can now start working on it. Now what do? After you write the contract, you need to read the contract once a day. Once a week, you need to act like. You need to go, for instance, you wrote that you want to be a millionaire, go and test drive for a Ferrari, go to an open villa, an open house for a 100 million villa, whatever. Just you need to give your subconscious brain the belief that is actually possible, you can do it. Look where we are now. And then the third but not last, you need to visualize at least twice a day the contract as already done, the day after as it done, in first person. So I want to be this multi-billion-dollar Ferrari owner, great in bed. I have to visualize myself the day after I got my Ferrari and I'm worth $1 billion and I was great in bed. The one maybe is too complex, but you know, you do you. First, you write a contract. Second, you read, act, and visualize it. And then the third, what happened when you visualize? You visualize that you have your Ferrari. What happened when you visualize it? There's going to be two conflict emotions. One emotion would say, yes, we can do it. I visualize my Ferrari. I feel great. The second one would be, you know what? This Ferrari thing, I think is too big. I think, you know what, this Ferrari thing, I don't think I'm good enough anyway. Yeah, I'm here visualizing because a guy that looks like Tony Soprano saw his first pizza with pineapple is telling me to do so, but it doesn't feel good. It literally doesn't feel good. I'm not that good anyway. How do I do that then? How do I get okay, there's a bunch of doubts coming in your head, okay? And that's normal. We all like this. It's okay. But what do you do when doubts creeps in? There's a specific exercise taken by Dr. Bradley Nelson, one of the pioneers of biokinesiology, that tells your subconscious to stop thinking bad stuff. So again, I visualize myself hundreds of millions of dollars sitting down in a Rari. Perfect. And then now one part of my brain says yes, another part of my brain says, I've never done such a thing, I'm not good enough. Now you got your I'm not good enough belief, that is negative belief. You need to release. I call it the grandma belief. You can see this is my grandma and you can see we have the same eyes. So I call it the grandma release. Why? Because this belief in a certain way is like an old grandma, is like the old grandma that's trying to protect you. So my grandma, when I started my first business, she was like, no, don't do it. Just find a lady and have 100 staffer with children. That's what you need to do. You don't need to start a business. So she's trying to help me with an outdated set of information. Your mind is the same. It's telling you you're not good enough. So it's trying to helping you from failing. But you need to tell your subconscious, your mind, your grandma, no grandma, I'm fine. And the way you do it is a simple exercise that I tried hundreds of exercises, thousands of exercises, millions of exercises, 3 exercises. And what I actually realized, this is the best, and it's the Brother Nelson exercise, and that's how it works. You take your belief, in this case, I'm not good enough to achieve the success I want, to achieve the money I want. And I do like this. I release this feeling that I'm not good enough. And I do it 10 times. I release this feeling that I'm good enough. I release this feeling that I'm good enough. I release this feeling that I'm good enough. And then I visualize a life when, since I was a kid, I felt I was good enough to achieve financial success. And then I grew up, I became an adult, I became 100 years old, and I always felt I was good enough. These will tell your subconscious, stop, make me feel not good enough. You need to do either once or twice. That's it. You do this exercise once or twice, and this feeling of not good enough disappear, because your subconscious will be like, oh, we just been told we don't need to make this guy not good enough. Oh, we just been told, you know, he's struggling already with his like spaghetti accent to make me feel not good enough. So let's stop making him feel good enough. Okay. By doing these 3 things, you give direction. A quick interruption for a crucial message. Over the next 12 months, we're going to select 33 people based on ambition and the ability to work with energies and consciousness to be a mentee of Trevor, and I'll help you to apply what he'll teach us. This will give you all the knowledge and all the accountability and tracking you need to be the person you want to become. If you apply with the link below, we are going to have a call and evaluate it. Thank you. Okay, you give direction to your subconscious, but now you need to connect to your subconscious and listen to what your subconscious has to say. In a certain sense, a lot of people think that your subconscious is like yourself, but on top of a mountain, and is giving you direction on where to go. How do you get directions? How do you get the knowledge? How do you connect with this higher self? You need to, first of all, it's fairly easy. You need to meditate 20 minutes a day, shut up, because if you shut up, your mind starts talking and your subconscious can talk. You can't call a phone if the line is busy. Easy peasy. Okay, second of all, nature. Just by being in nature, you're more connected. Why? Because nature is full of something called fractals. Everything has a shape of fractals. Everything smells like fractals. Everything that you touch is fractals. All the birds sing fractal songs, and all sorts of stuff. I know it sounds weird, and you'll be like, oh, what are you saying, Francesco? You're drinking too much. You'll be right. You'll be right, but it's still true. And then, third thing, this is super important. Your subconscious, you talk to you via feelings, not via logic. Okay, what does that mean? It means that one day you met a person and you said, you know what, this person stinks, this person is not good. And everybody's like, Francesco, shut up, it's not true, this person is nice. And you'll be like, you guys will see. And after 3 months, you were right. Why? Your subconscious that can predict 25 moves in advance. It's like, this person is going to be bad for you, right? Sometimes you do one thing that it feels right, or you date someone that it feels right, and everybody's like, oh, what are you doing? And then it's like, yeah, you see what's right, your subconscious. And if you look at the biggest success in your past, in your life, if you look at the things that happen to be successful for you, work, love, whatever, you realize that most of them, you wouldn't expect them to work. So logically, no. For intuition, you did it. And if you look at the biggest entrepreneurs ever, if you look even at Elon started a rocket company and a car companies, and people were like, they're gonna fail. And it's like, yes. So logically, he thought it would fail. Intuitively, he felt like doing this. And look at him. So the point is, connection with your subconscious comes when you listen to your feeling. So how do you listen to your feeling? You need to ask yourself this following question. What do I feel like doing now? Not what do I think is the right thing to do? What do I feel like doing now? What does it feel right to do? What does it feel? What is the next step that it feels right to do? Last but not least, so you give them direction. So once a day you've done this, you've wrote your contract, you release your grandmas, and now you're spending time in nature, you're meditating, listening to feelings. Now you need to drop importance, okay? Why? Because if we need to allow the subconscious to work. You need to drop importance. You need to just understand that the more you care about stuff, the more you're worried about stuff, the more life that acts as a mirror will give you reason to worry about stuff. Life acts as a mirror. When you smile, it smiles you back. And when you cry, it cries you back. So whenever you're worried about something, whenever you push for something, life will give you more reason to be worried about something and push for something. So you need to say, okay, I've done my things, I don't care. It's like making a baby for guys. It takes 10 seconds, it's very fun, and then you drop it, and then the baby grows itself. You don't go and every day you go your 10 seconds. The baby actually don't like it. The baby will be like, oh, stop hitting me. Okay, so what I'm saying is you did your part, now stop. Stop means drop importance. You did your contract. You said you want to have a Ferrari and 100 pizzerias around the planet. Yes, I don't care anymore. I'm just going to work and I'm going to relax, because the more relaxed I am, the more I allow the great ideas to come. The more I allow my connection to subconscious to come. Last but not least, and this is very good, this is the literally super important part. So what happened is, we said your subconscious works is like you, but on top of a mountain, and you are downstairs, okay? This is not something that I've invented, okay? And if you expect me with this look like a kebab shop owner to give some new stuff, then you're wrong. With that said, it's like you on top of a mountain that looks at you down and tells you where to go. So there's a certain moment when you're trying to reach the top of the mountain, to reach your higher self in a sense, where you're gonna be stuck in a position where you don't know what to do, and he's gonna give you direction. Sometimes the direction will be opposite of what you think. So it means that you will think to go right, but he's gonna tell you to do left, because he sees more. He sees 25 moves in advance, so he knows you don't, okay? So what's gonna happen, and this is like something that happened to me, and I was like, oh, why is it happening to me? So I went to this crazy science and says, oh, these things is happening to me. And he says, it happens to everybody, dumbass. And then we read multiple biographies, and that's how it works. And then we work with hundreds of people, and that's how it works. This is how it works. You start doing the things that I told you, and you will see a massive improvement in your life. Everything will feel better, everything will feel happier, everything will feel lighter, and you will feel more connected with everything. But at a certain point, every time we go south. I cannot stress enough how many people I've seen doing these techniques, and in 6 months, divorce, losing jobs, losing clients, something will happen. And you might think, oh, what am I gonna do? Actually, that's part of the process. It doesn't feel like it's going to the direction you want, but because you cannot predict the moves, because your subconscious is bringing you to an hard path, but it's the only and the fastest path possible to where you wanna go. And so you're gonna first explode, then everything sometimes will go bad. And then you'll feel, you know what, it's bad, I don't care, I'm just gonna keep going. But then you're gonna get stuck in the bad route. And then whenever you less expected, you just accept it. You just have said to yourself, you know what, it's fine, I'm gonna be happy without this success. And then that's when everything blows up, and somehow something that unexpected happened, and you get everything you want, because your subconscious has been planning this 25 moves before. So at the end, you're gonna end up saying, you know what, it's been messy, it's been weird, it's been painful, but I like it and I wanna do it again. And that's also what she said. So quick interruption. If it's true, the reality is a mirror, and when you feel confident and when you feel strong, reality will prove you right and give you more reason to think that. We discovered a very cool meditation for the last 2 years that recreate the state of absolute certainty. And you can find it in another YouTube channel. Here you can click. You just have to go and subscribe, and the only price is one smile. Pay in advance, no refund. Just click, enjoy, but let me know how it goes, and don't forget to pay.